Lake Charles Forecast, this is great to be here because this is the best forecast we're going to provide in the state. I'll give you the exact numbers in just a minute. What do you have going on? Look at the things that have gone on. Just look at this first page. Look at the numbers on this first page. Cheniere, $20 billion. Sempra, $10 billion. Sasol's ethylene cracker, 8.9. What do you have? You have 20, 30, $40 billion just on the front page, just for 3 projects. It's huge, huge numbers. Westlake Chemicals, $330 million on an ethylene expansion. It's going to create 25 new jobs. The new Grace Chevron joint venture called Advanced Refining Technology, $135 million project, going to create 30 jobs. Juniper LNG, $100 million project. See, when no nations are, it was really great, $100 million. Now I've got it on the second page at the bottom. It shouldn't be there. That's a good project, as you can see. 26 new jobs there. And so, Larry Russell and his group with the Lake Area Industrial Alliance has done us a great favor. He said, well, let's try to figure out how many jobs are going to be required to build the plants that just have an EPC. They have an engineering, procurement, construction project. They're going vertical. How many jobs? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this sucker. You're going, this is an increase from July of 15 to May of 15 of 7,000 jobs. The primary reason for that big increase, see this big fat part right in here? That's all new projects. Now this is just for the ones that have an EPC. I haven't put in here, what if Magnolia announces tomorrow they're going to build their plant? What if Axiall announces tomorrow we're going to do that? That isn't even figured in. That isn't even factored into this. This is a reference point in Baton Rouge right now. We have ours growing over the same time period by 6,000 in a much bigger metropolitan area than I'm standing in right now. And you're going 7,000 more than that. And these are just the construction jobs. The other thing that Russell and his group did was to look at the permanent jobs as these new plants come on. As you can see, 375, 273 in 2016, 850, 2017, 220 here. And these aren't jobs that are paying $28,000 a year. These are jobs that are paying much higher than that. So a lot of good new money is coming into this area. It's going to be very good for you folks. And I'm not exaggerating the size of this boom. I know sometimes when people speak, they try to exaggerate and make things seem a lot bigger. For example, this newspaper reporter here who's talking about a robbery at a local movie theater. He said, last night movie theater was robbed of $1,000 in goods. Thieves took one large box of popcorn, a combo meal, and a box of milk nuts. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not much if you take your grandchildren to the movies like that. And then if you look at the ones that are at the feed stage, again, you have about 96 billion, excuse me, about 57 billion at the feed stage. Trunk lines, and I think, you know, the very high probability the trunk line is going to pull the trigger very soon on this $11 billion project. We've done some work on the economic impact of Magnolia's LNG. I think they are very close to pulling the trigger on this one. I think it's a very high probability of that. Southern California Telephone, they built Monkey Island. I love that. There's a place called Monkey Island. They built this. This is a $9.3 billion 6-train facility. This is going to be a 4-train facility now, by the way. And they signed an MOU for a long-term fixed supply of gas. It looks like this is a pretty good chance of going. I'm less familiar with whether these will happen. This is Live Oak, a $2 billion 4-train unit. The fact that this name right here and this name right here are involved in this, it makes you want to raise the probability up. The Venture Global LNG, $4.2 billion project at the mouth of the Calcasieu Ship River, 100 jobs. There's a lot of jobs, very high-paying jobs. And when I say very high-paying, $75,000 a year is a lot of money. That includes benefit. That is a very good wage rate coming in here. This is not like you're bringing in Fruit of the Loom, you know, which pays $28,000 or something. These are really good jobs. And here, of course, Axiall. What is going to happen with this? This is a very large contract. This is not LNG. This is a chemical facility, a new suite of facilities there. $3 billion, 250 high-paying jobs. And then I mentioned G2X Energy. Now, G2X Energy is basically a 2-phase project. They're going to do one where they're going to take a facility where they make natural gas, and out of it they make methanol. And then, and by the way, they have a name for that called Big Lake Fuels. And then they have another one that's going to take that methanol and make fuel out of it, like propane or very low sulfur gasoline. And the Big Lake, we okay? Okay, Big Lake Fuels is supposed to start you hear the late 2015, 125 jobs. When they do both of them, they'll have 243 jobs. It's a very good job creating deal for us. Now, this one here, this is the Sasol GTL plant, which has been delayed, is the word that's been used for that. And what they say they're doing is they're looking at two things. First of all, they got this big $8.9 billion ethylene facility that's being built. They want to watch what's happening to the cost overruns on that. And then the second thing they want to do, they're going to watch that price of oil. You know, is that gap going to stay there? Is the price of oil going to come down to 20? In which case it makes no sense to make stuff out of natural gas. They're kind of watching that gap. And so we'll see. It's not going to be, they're not going to pull the trigger off this, as I understand it, until they finish the ethylene plant. Energy is definitely going to do this. I think I probably should have put this in the other category. $187 billion capex for one of the biggest transmissions projects. You got to have a lot of electricity coming in to this area. I've shown you this for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm not really sure. I keep talking to folks there, and they keep saying we're putting this off. I would put a fairly low probability on this project, Phillips refinery project, happening anytime real soon. In Dorama Ventures, Carlos, $175 million renovation of dormant ethane cracker. I mean, it's a fairly high probability that that is going to occur. 125 jobs. And then this is the one that Governor Rumber is involved in, $11 billion LNG export facility. They want to break down. This is almost out beyond our forecast period. In 2017, 250 jobs at 85,000. So very, very big project. You got a lot of stuff going on at your port. You got about 35, of course, there has to be a lot going on. You got to have the infrastructure to support these people. $35 million on a new dock bulk facility. And I'm just going to kind of bring you down here to the bottom. These are non-trivial numbers for dredging the channel. Okay, you're talking about $30 million a year to keep the channel cleared. I mean, that too is just a non-trivial sum of money. On other types of construction, Delta Downs Racetrack City Hotel, they have a $45 million expansion project going on. They're going to have a whole new hotel tower. Lake Charles Memorial Hospital is spending about $55 million capital over the 2014-2016 period. And I've kind of listed there the kind of things that they're building. So that's a non-trivial amount of money being spent in the area. Now, we're going to be watching Northrop Grumman. Chenal is kind of an interesting place because there's a lot of great jobs out there, high-paying jobs. One of the things we need to watch carefully is the Northrop Grumman component. Now, what they do maintenance, repair, and overhaul on the J-STARS aircraft, military J-STARS aircraft, and the KC-10 aircraft. And as it turns out, they're at 730 jobs. That's a great thing to have in your community to diversify. But they're having to rebid the KC-10 contract. And we're going to know about that right after the first of the year. Really important for them to keep that 730 there for them to win that KC-10 contract and get it renewed again. AAR is at 400, and they are way above what they told us they were going to be last year at this point. They're doing very, very well. They've got a little bit of a capacity issue out there right now. They're aiming for 750. The Kalamazoo Police Jury, City of Lake Charles, and Chenal Airport Authority have signed an MOU for a $250 million airport expansion out there to help out with some of the capacity issues at Chenal Park. This is a really surprise. You know, you have the Golden Nugget open up. And if you remember last year when I said, hey, the Golden Nugget's going to open up, $700 million complex, and I said 2,500 jobs, and I put this word net question mark out there. So the question was, they open up this new facility, are you going to get 2,500 net new jobs, or are they going to cannibalize jobs away from the Isle and from the LaBerge? Well, surprisingly, there was no cannibalization that took place. Basically, if you look at the data, which we have for the fourth quarter 14 and first quarter 15, I haven't had a chance to look at the first and second quarter, but you look Golden Nuggets numbers here, growing a little bit. Look at LaBerge's numbers. LaBerge's numbers have been almost unimpacted by this, and so has the Isle of Capri, been almost unimpacted. So basically what happened was the Golden Nugget grew the casino market here without having to cannibalize away from the other. That's terrific news for you folks, as it turns out.